Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're plunging into a really fun one, a classic, slightly spooky too. You've brought us the full text, right? Oscar Wilde's The Canterville Ghost.
That's right. And our goal, well, it's really to explore this story together, understand that clash of cultures is fascinating, and dive into the characters, both the living and the spectral ones, and just see what kind of insights we can maybe pull out. From Wilde's, well, his very witty take on ghosts and sheer practicality, think of this as your shortcut to understanding why this story just works, why it lasts.
Okay, let's kick things off. Set the scene. We start at Canterville Chase. It's this, ancient English manor, and it definitely has a reputation.
Oh, absolutely. It is, by all accounts, haunted.
So much so that the owner, Lord Canterville, he actually feels obligated to warn the buyer.
Yeah, the American minister, Mr. Hiram B. Otis, he's looking for a place, and Canterville feels he has to, lay it all out.
And he really does. I mean, he lists the evidence.
He does. He mentions his grandaunt, the Dowager Duchess of Bolton. Apparently, she was frightened into a terrible fit. Two skeleton hands appeared on her shoulders.
Yikes.
And it's not just her. Other family members, even the local rector, Reverend Augustus Dampier, a fellow of King's College, Cambridge, mind you, they've seen it too.
Right, and then there are the noises, servants quitting, Lady Canterville losing sleep.
Exactly. This isn't like a recent thing either.
No, it's been going on for, 300 years?
Since 1584, apparently.
Yeah.
And it always shows up before a death in the family. It's a proper historical haunting they're dealing with.
So Lord Canterville presents all this history of terror.
And Mr. Otis's reaction, it's just gold.
It really is. He barely blinks, just says he'll take the furniture and the ghost.
Yeah, at evaluation.
Exactly, like it's part of the inventory or something.
He just flat out says, there is no such thing, sir, as a ghost.
And that the laws of nature aren't going to bend for the British aristocracy.
His whole argument is, well, if ghosts are real, Americans would have bottled one, put it in a museum, or taken it on the road as a show, capitalized on it somehow.
It's such a perfect distillation of that pragmatic, maybe slightly cynical American attitude Wilde is playing with.
Completely clashes with the old world acceptance of, well, the mysterious.
Lord Canterville just sort of smiles, says he does fear the ghost exists, but hey, if Mr. Otis wants the house, ghost and all.
The deal is done. Just like that.
So let's meet this family moving in. First, Mrs. Otis, Lucretia R. Tappan, she was, a New York belle.
Right. Handsome, middle-aged, great profile, and Wilde makes a point of her magnificent constitution and animal spirits.
Which means she's, really healthy and energetic?
Pretty much. Not putting on those, delicate European airs of being constantly unwell. She's robust. Wilde says she's quite English in many ways.
The subtle dig.
Except, he adds, her language.
Then the eldest son, Washington, named, we're told, in a fit of patriotism his parents now slightly regret.
Fair-haired, good-looking, and his qualification for diplomacy. Apparently he's a great dancer.
He loves gardenias and the peerage. That's his weakness. Otherwise, quite sensible.
Then Virginia, 15 years old.
Lovely girl, lithe, free blue eyes. She's called a wonderful Amazon.
Yeah, she beat Lord Bilton in a pony race, and the young Duke of Cheshire supposedly proposed right after.
Remember being packed off back to school, right?
Exactly. So she's got spirit.
Mm-hmm.
And it tricks dukes already.
And finally, the twins, nicknamed the Star and Stripes.
Because they're always getting swished.
Which is like old-fashioned for disciplined, chastised.
Yeah, basically. Always in trouble. Wilde calls them delightful, but also the only true Republicans in the family, besides their dad.
Hinting the others might secretly like all that aristocracy stuff.
Perhaps. So this American crew arrives at Canterville Chase. Beautiful July evening, lovely drive.
Pines, birds, squirrels, all very picturesque.
Until they turn into the avenue leading up to the house.
And bam, mood shift.
Totally. Sky darkens, everything goes still, big ominous rooks, and then sudden rain.
Like the house itself is saying you're not in Kansas anymore. Or, well, New York.
It's a clear warning.
Yeah.
Old world versus new world, right there.
And waiting on the steps, Mrs. Umney, the housekeeper.
Very traditional, neat black dress, kept on for the previous owner, gives them a low curtsy.
Welcomes them in this very formal, slightly gloomy way.
They go into the library, grand Tudor hall, oak panels, stained glass, teas all laid out, perfect setting for, well, what happens next?
And it happens immediately, doesn't it? Mrs. Otis spots the stain.
Right by the fireplace, a dull red stain. She just casually asks if something spilled.
And Mrs. Umney goes into full dramatic mode.
Oh, yeah. Low, mysterious voice. It is the blood of Lady Eleanor de Canterville.
Murdered right there by her husband, Sir Simon, back in 1575.
And the punchline. It's been admired by tourists, and it cannot be removed.
Challenge accepted. For Washington, anyway.
He just calls it nonsense. Pulls out. What does it hit?
Pinkerton's Champion Stain Remover and Paragon Detergent. You couldn't make it up.
He gets down, scrubs away, and poof, it's gone. Just like that.
Declares, I knew Pinkerton would do it.
And the instant he says it, foul share.
Yeah.
Thunder.
And Mrs. Umney just collapses, faints dead away.
Classic. And Mr. Otis cools as a cucumber.
Lights a cheroot, blames the English climate, too many people.
Suggests they should all emigrate. And when asked about Mrs. Umney,
Oh, just charge it to her like breakages. She won't faint after that.
unbelievably practical. Or maybe just unfeeling.
Mrs. Umney comes round, muttering warnings, seen terrible things.
But the Otises, nah, not scared, just give her a raise, problem solved.
Until the next morning.
And the stain it's back.
Washington thinks maybe the detergent was faulty. Scrubs it again.
Third morning, still there. Even though Mr. Otis locked the library himself.
Okay, now they start getting interested.
Yeah, the absolute certainty starts to crack a little. Mr. Otis wonders if maybe, just maybe, he was wrong about ghosts.
Mrs. Otis wants to join the Psychical Society.
And Washington plans a scholarly paper on permanence of sanguineous stains when connected with crime.
They're trying to rationalize it, but the doubt is creeping in.
And then the stain starts changing color.
That's the best part. Dull red, vermilion, purple.
Bright emerald green, which really startles Virginia during prayers.
Most of them think it's hilarious, start placing bets. But Virginia, she's actually upset by it.
Yeah, that's the first real sign she's different. More sensitive, maybe.
Definitely. So after a week of color-changing stains, the main event arrives.
Sunday night. Huge crash in the hall.
They all rush down, and there's a suit of armor on the floor.
And the ghost himself. Sitting in a chair, rubbing his knees, looking like he's in agony.
So faced with the 300-year-old ghost in pain, what do?
The twins shoot him with pea pellets.
Of course they do. And Mr. Otis,
Pulls out a revolver, tells him hands up, cites Californian etiquette.
amazing, the ghost is furious, utterly outraged.
Shrieks, tries the misty sweep through them trick, puts out Washington's candle.
Gets to the top of the stairs, ready for his famous demoniac laughter.
And Mrs. Otis appears. Calmly offers him Dr. Dubell's tincture.
For indigestion. The indignity.
It completely deflates him. He tries to turn into a black dog, his big scary move.
But the twins are coming closer, so he just sort of flickers phosphorescently and vanishes with a groan.
He's just beside himself, retreats to his room.
So insulted. The vulgarity of the twins, the materialism of Mrs. Otis offering medicine.
But the worst thing, he couldn't even wear the armor.
His own suit, worn at Kenilworth, complimented by the Queen.
And it was too heavy. He fell over, bruised his knees. It's just humiliating.
He becomes quite unwell for several days, only pops out to redo the bloodstain.
He's shifting from terrifying specter to, well, almost a figure of pity. Or comedy, at least.
He rallies, though. Plans his third attempt. Friday night, storm brewing. Perfect.
Gets his costume ready. Slouched hat, feather, winding sheet, rusty dagger. The works.
He's got a plan for everyone. Gibbering for Washington because of the stain remover.
Clammy hand for Mr. and Mrs. Otis. Whispering secrets.
For Virginia, he's not sure. Groans, maybe. He notes she's gentle and pretty.
But the twins. Oh, he's got plans for them. Nightmares, icy corpse sensation, and his masterpiece. Dumb Daniel, or the suicide skeleton.
He's really going for it this time. Sets off at midnight.
Atmosphere's perfect. Owl hooting, raven croaking, wind howling.
And the minister snoring loudly.
He glides down the corridor, turns the corner towards Washington's room, and stops dead.
He sees something. A specter.
And it's hideous. Bold, shiny head, fat, white, grinning face, red eyes, mouth like fire.
Holding a cleaver, wearing some sort of shroud.
And a placard on its chest.
The poor Canterville Ghost. He's never actually seen another ghost before.
He's absolutely terrified. Lets out a shriek, turns, flees.
Drips over his own winding sheet, drops the dagger right into Mr. Otis's boots.
Scuttles back to his room and hides under the covers, shaking like a leaf.
It takes until dawn for his courage to return. The brave old Canterville spirit, Wilde calls it.
He decides, okay, maybe 2 ghosts are better than 1 for dealing with these kids. He'll go talk to the other ghost.
So he creeps back out.
And finds
It's a fake. A total setup.
a broom, a bed curtain, the cleaver, and a hollowed-out turnip for a head.
And the placard reads, Ye Otis Ghost, Ye only true and original spook. Beware of ye imitations. All others are counterfeit.
Oh, the humiliation. Tricked, foiled, outwitted by Americans with a turnip.
He grinds his gums, he's toothless now, and swears this terrible oath based on a cock crowing twice about revenge.
A cock crows once. He waits. Silence.
Curses the naughty fowl, gives up, utterly defeated.
Retires to sulk in a lead coffin he sometimes uses. That prank seems to be the breaking point.
Yeah, from here on, it's really a downward spiral for Sir Simon.
He's weak, tired, nerves completely shot. He even gives up on the bloodstain. Decides the Otises are just too, well, material to appreciate it.
He still feels obligated, to make appearances, walk the corridor, gibber from the window. It's expected.
But he starts taking precautions. No boots. Walks really quietly.
Wears a black velvet cloak. And the best bit...
Oh, the Rising Sun lubricator.
He steals Mr. Otis's lubricant to oil his chain so he doesn't creak.
He felt bad about it at first, apparently, but then realized, hey, this stuff works. Practicality wins again.
Even so, the twins keep harassing him, strings across the corridor.
The butter slide incident. He took a terrible fall trying to navigate that.
He gets so mad he plans one last huge effort. Reckless Rupert, the headless Earl.
A terrifying character. Hadn't used it in 70 years. Caused all sorts of chaos last time.
Takes him 3 hours to get ready. Boots, pistol, the whole headless getup.
Creeps towards the twins' room, the blue bed chamber. Flings the door open.
Splash! Gets a heavy jug of water right on him, balanced on the door.
Hears laughter. Flees. Catches a dreadful cold.
And Wilde adds he was glad he hadn't brought his head or it would have been soaked too.
That's it. He gives up trying to scare them. Completely.
Just shuffles around in slippers and a muffler, carrying an old Arcadius for self-defense.
Takes out his frustration. Making sarcastic remarks about the cheerful Otis family photos.
The final blow comes in September. He's trying to have a bit of fun. Is Jonas the Graveless in the hall?
Ambushed. Twins jump out shouting, "Bee!"
And Washington's there with a garden syringe.
He panics, vanishes into the coal iron stove, scrambles up the chimney.
Arrives back in his room, filthy and utterly broken.
And that's pretty much the last they see of him. He stops his nightly rounds.
The twins leave nutshells out, trying to tempt him, but nope, his spirit is crushed.
The Otises figure he's finally left. Mr. Otis even writes to Lord Canterville.
But he's still there, just an invalid, hiding.
He hears the young Duke of Cheshire is visiting. Briefly thinks about scaring him. The vampire monk routine. There's some old family feud there.
But then he remembers the twins and decides against it. He's genuinely scared of them now.
And this is where the story takes its turn. Virginia is involved.
Right. She tears her writing habit, uses the back stairs to avoid being seen.
Anne passes the tapestry chamber. The door's open.
And she sees him, sitting by the window.
Just looking out at the leaves falling. Wilde describes him as looking forlorn and so much out of repair. In extreme depression.
And Virginia, she feels pity. Instead of running, she decides to talk to him.
Which completely shocks him. A living person speaking kindly to him.
He tells her haunting is his only reason for existing.
Admits quite casually, yeah, he killed his wife. Calls it a purely family matter.
Complains she was plain, bad cook, couldn't starch his collars right.
And then says her brothers starved him to death in revenge. Which, might explain some things.
Virginia tells him killing is wrong, with her sweet Puritan gravity.
He just dismisses it. I hate the cheap severity of abstract ethics. Classic Wilde.
She offers him a sandwich.
He declines, never eats, calls her nice, but her family. Horrid, rude, vulgar, dishonest.
Then she calls him out for stealing her paints.
All her reds, the vermilion, the green, the yellow, for the bloodstain.
She tells him emerald green blood is just ridiculous.
His defense. Real blood is hard to get these days. And Washington started it with the detergent. And colors just taste. Besides, Cantervilles have blue blood.
Virginia then has this wonderfully practical idea. Emigrate. To America.
Dad will pay. No customs trouble for spirits. Americans love ghosts and ancestors.
He's not keen. America has no ruins, no curiosities.
Virginia mentions their navy and manners, trying to sell it.
When she casually mentions asking for an extra week's holiday for the twins.
The ghost basically begs her not to let them stay longer. He's terrified.
And then he finally confesses his real pain.
He's lonely, unhappy, and he just wants to sleep.
But he can't.
Hasn't slept in 300 years. He's just so tired.
And this vulnerability, this weariness, it really gets to Virginia.
Her eyes fill with tears, her lips tremble. She kneels down beside him, looks at his old withered face and just says, Poor ghost, have you no place where you can sleep?
That's the key moment. Compassion replaces fear and mockery.
He describes this place, the Garden of Death, beyond the woods. Talks about long grass, hemlock flowers, a nightingale, the moon, a yew tree, and peace.
He calls death beautiful. To lie in the soft brown earth, listen to silence, to have no yesterday and no tomorrow, to forget time, to forget life, to be at peace.
It's incredibly poetic and sad. And he says Virginia can help him find it.
Because love is always with you, and love is stronger than death is.
Then he points out the prophecy on the library window.
When a golden girl can win prayer from out the lips of sin, when the barren almond bears and a little child gives away its tears, then shall all the house be still and peace come to Canterville.
He explains it. She needs to weep for him because he has no tears. Pray for him because he has no faith.
Her purity will protect her from whatever dangers lie ahead.
And Virginia, pale but determined, agrees. I'm not afraid, she says, and I will ask the angel to have mercy on you.
The ghost is overcome with joy, kisses her hand, cold fingers burning lips.
The figures in the tapestry seem to try and warn her as they leave.
But she closes her eyes. The wall ahead fades into a black cavern. Cold wind.
Something pulls her dress. Quick, quick, the ghost urges. They step through. The panel closes. Virginia is gone.
Chaos ensues. 10 minutes later, tea time, no Virginia.
The family, the Duke, everyone starts searching frantically. Mr. Otis immediately thinks it's the gypsies he let camp nearby.
Rides out, finds them gone, sends telegrams, alerts the police, searches roads with the Duke.
Nothing. They come back completely distraught.
Washington and the twins have searched the grounds. No trace.
The gypsies are found later, but she's not with them. They left for a fair. Some even help search.
They drag the pond, search the whole chase again. Utter despair.
Mrs. Otis is hysterical in the library. Mrs. O'Many tending to her.
Mr. Otis makes them eat dinner, a truly grim meal. Even the twins are quiet.
Then, midnight strikes. The clock tower booms.
And on the last stroke, a crash, a cry, thunder, music.
And a secret panel opens on the landing.
And Virginia steps out, pale, holding a little casket.
Pandemonium. Hugs, kisses. The twins do a war dance.
Mr. Otis, still reeling, asks where she's been, thinking it's a trick.
The twins shout, "Except on the ghost."
And Virginia just says calmly, "Papa, I have been with the ghost. He is dead, and you must come and see him."
Whoa.
She says he was wicked but truly sorry, and he gave her the casket of jewels before he died. Passed on.
The family is stunned. She leads them through the panel down a secret corridor.
They find a hidden room, small vaulted ceiling, tiny window.
And chained to the wall, a skeleton, Sir Simon, reaching for an empty cup and plate, starved to death, just as he said.
Virginia kneels and prays. The family just watches this awful scene unfold.
And then one of the twins looks out the window. Hello! The old withered almond tree has blossomed.
The prophecy.
Exactly. Virginia stands up, face lit up, beautiful, and says, God has forgiven him.
Peace has come to Canterville, and the Duke, completely overcome,
Calls her an angel, puts his arm around her, kisses her, and scene.
So the haunting's truly over. They hold a proper funeral for Sir Simon, late at night, very grand.
Black horses, plumes, lead coffin, torches. Lord Canterville is there, Virginia beside him.
The whole family, Mrs. and Penny too. She feels she earned it after 50 years of being scared.
They bury him under the yew tree he described. Rector reads the service. Virginia puts almond blossoms on the coffin. The moon comes out, nightingale sings. It's all very poetic.
Then the jewels, the casket Sir Simon gave Virginia.
Magnificent stuff. Antique ruby necklace worth a fortune. Mr. Otis gets uncomfortable.
Has scruples. Thinks they should be heirlooms, tied to the estate. Talks about Republican simplicity. Wants to give them back.
Lord Canterville says absolutely not. Virginia earned them fair and square. Plus, they aren't legally heirlooms.
And technically, Mr. Otis bought everything associated with the ghost at a valuation anyway.
So legally, they're Virginia's. Lord Canterville insists. Mr. Otis isn't happy, but gives in.
Virginia keeps the jewels and eventually marries the Duke.
As soon as he's old enough, everyone's thrilled.
Except the Duke's mother and Mr. Otis still grumbling about titles and aristocracy.
But Wilde notes he was secretly very proud walking her down the aisle. Republican simplicity can bend for a duke, it seems.
They visit Sir Simon's grave sometimes, marked with his initials and the prophecy verse. Virginia puts roses there.
And the final bit, the secret.
The Duke asks her what actually happened when she was with the ghost.
She says she's never told anyone, and she can't tell him.
But she owes Sir Simon a great debt, because he made me see what life is and what death signifies and why love is stronger than both.
Wow, that's quite a statement.
The Duke accepts it, asks if she'll tell their children one day. She just blushes. The secret remains hers.
So we start with this hilarious culture clash, this ghost being tormented by practical Americans.
Yeah, the lubricant, the pea shooters, the indigestion medicine, it's farce.
But it pivots, doesn't it? Towards the end, it becomes about something much deeper.
Through Virginia, it's her empathy, her willingness to see past the haunting, past the crimes, to the suffering underneath.
And think about it.
Yeah.
None of the practical solutions worked. The stain remover, the jokes, the dismissal, they just annoyed or humiliated the ghost?
Well, it wasn't science or pragmatism that solved the problem. It was, well, compassion, pity, prayer, love even.
That's what broke the cycle. Her tears, her prayer fulfilling the prophecy. It took innocence and empathy, not logic.
And that secret she keeps. What did she actually witness or experience in that hidden place with Sir Simon?
Whatever it was, it gave her this profound understanding. What life is and what death signifies and why love is stronger than both. That's not something you learn from everyday life at 15.
No, it suggests a glimpse into something fundamental, beyond the ordinary.
Wilde blends the funny and the profound so skillfully here. The ghost's suffering becomes real, Virginia's act of mercy feels earned, and the ending has this lingering sense of mystery and grace.
So maybe the question for you listening is what that secret represents. What does it mean that the deepest truths, the resolution to centuries of pain, come not from cleverness or technology, but from a moment of pure, selfless connection?
What do you think Virginia learned in that cavern about life, death, and love? It's a fascinating thought to leave you with, from a story that starts so playfully and ends somewhere quite different.